everybody, and welcome to Dynamic GT League's No Boost Series for Race 3 of 9, and this one from the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. Joining us on commentary today is Ray. I hope you're well today, Ray.
Yeah, I'm very well. How's yourself?
Not too bad. You know what? We never did explain why last week I felt like I was talking to myself. And it's for anyone that's wondering, it's because I was talking to Ray, but I wasn't in the commentary box to talk to him. So there we go. Quick look at the standings. You can see them on the screen there. We don't have to go through them, Ray. But what we can talk about is Brands Hatch this week. Weather forecast shows no rain, so it's just going to be down to tyres and consistency today. But from what we've been hearing, drivers struggling a bit in practice on the hard compound tyre around Brands Hatch.
Yeah, just not getting them lit up or having the grip through the corners, which hopefully we get to see and show.
Yeah.
And tell.
Eventually, yeah, eventually. I mean, maybe it's because of, it could be the temperature of the track, or it could be the sort of longish straights, but let's not forget that around this circuit there are a few very, very difficult corners, like Sheen, that's the one over the little crest of the hill. And if drivers are struggling on the hard compound tyre to get them up to temperature, they may have to look at sort of what sort of lap times they're able to do on them, because it's a very short pit lane loss time here at Brands Hatch. I think it's only about 10 seconds, which if the soft compound tyres are a couple of seconds a lap faster, it might make sense to do short stints on those hards.
Yeah, I don't think you'd want to be on them too long.
No, I think you're absolutely right. As we now head over to the circuit, and Ray's probably wondering how I knew exactly what moment we were heading over, but I'll let you go through the grid, Ray.
So first, Steve F1, the Brands Hatch power bag on the softs. Artpal, second place, what a time, on the softs too. Third is Conrad, he's on the hards, interesting. Fourth softs is SRI. Fifth softs is Demon R. Sixth SGP on the softs. Jason seventh, and he's on the hards. Well, and we've got Twilight on the hards in 8th place. 9th place on the hards is Jimmy, and then Gary 10th. Is it 10th?
It is, softs. Yeah.
And we've a few drivers not here.
Yep.
Rich plays Nelly.
Yep, 4 lights, 5 lights, and away they go. Demon R got big sideways there, easily done on this Brands Hatch circuit, and Artpal taking the lead momentarily around the outside of Steve F1 into the first corner, and he has taken the lead. SRI getting a little bit wobbly there. Now, at this moment in time, the drivers will not know which tyre each other is on. However, Gary! Oh no, spinning around! I don't know if he was sideways before he was helped more sideways or not.
Yeah, he's further than sideways. He's facing the wrong way.
Absolutely. Yeah, so as I was mentioning there, the drivers won't know what tyres each other are on, as Demon R are having a look at Steve F1 here. But with the front few seeing Conrad drop from 3rd to 6th, they're going to be contemplating he's probably on the hard compound tyres. On the pack cam, SRI, there he is now on my screen, right behind Artpal. So Artpal and SRI have had a lightning. I'm wondering if... No, Steve F1 isn't on the hard, is he? Because we just went through the grid.
He's on soft. He's on softs.
No, just a bad start, I'm guessing. Oh, is this ever so close into the penultimate corner? I really should have got the track map up. Oh, by the way, Ray, I've got a bone to pick with you later, and it's not about having hard on.
Alright.
That's the first made-up joke of my own, so apologies, folks. I should have done some research and got them. Okay, come on then, Ray. soft tyres, how long are we looking at them lasting around here with the 28 lap races on the pack cam? That's Jimmy and Twilight battling. Both of those honour the hard compound tyre.
Demon Arch went deep and he's went deep. But he's okay, he's managed to stay there, but SGP's all over the back of him now. And it looks like this pack of cars have caught up with SRI. Artpal should get a wee bit of a distance now.
Yeah, so there is...
Sorry, did you ask me about the
the soft tyres, yeah?
Yeah, about 7 laps. I know people are doing 10 laps on them, but I think they're losing a lot of time.
Ooh, this SRI runs a little bit wide. Very easy to do on the exit of that corner, and this corner, but it's this corner coming up. Sheen, this is the tricky one. It's a blind entry, and if you run too wide like Arpal, as you end up going on the grass, he's managed to stay facing the right direction, but that's historically, Ray, the corner where we will end up seeing drivers facing the wrong direction.
Yeah, there's been a lot of incidents there. As Demon R looked as if he was going to have a go around outside of Steve F1, but it's been covered off. Now will Demon R have the top end speed at the end? No, I think he's just sitting on. Do you think these guys are just settling it?
Oh my days, he had a massive tank slapper on the exit of the corner there, and SRI comes round. He now sees SRI. Demon Orange went very deep at Druids as well. May have been a little bit of assisted there. Sorry to sort of jump in and cut you off there, Ray, but yeah, I mean, it did look like Demon R maybe had the speed to attack down into one, but having said that, I mean, at this stage of the races, we see SRI with formerly Gary now behind him. Gary recovering after that spin on the first lap. Again, we don't know if it was assisted or not. Last race, though, Ray, we saw Gary start on the... Oh, no, Gary! Oh, that one wasn't assisted. Oh, dear, oh, dear. So Artpal then, after having his moment up in this corner, Sheen on the exit, I'm wondering maybe whether... with dirty tyres, he was perhaps a little bit cautious through one, and maybe it caught SRI out, but you never know. Steve F1 dips a wheel. But I was going to mention, like with Demon R and Steve F1, I mean, at this stage of the race, do they want to be pushing these soft tyres too hard? I mean, with what we've gone.
I think they might be trying just... They're up at the front. I think they just want to try and keep an eye on their tyres so that they don't wear them out too quickly.
Yeah.
That is, you see Steve F1 is getting closer to Apple. But if you look, Conrad's on the hards and we can see him behind SGP, not that far in the last shot. Can we see him there? He's there.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's what I was about to mention, as Twilight has pitted. He's got rid of his hard compound tyres. Demon R on the exit of Surtees, I nearly forgot. Steve F1's got a pretty decent run here, but I don't think he'll be able to attack. Yeah, so I was going to mention about Conrad, because he's on the hard compound tyres. Demon R goes wide. He's going to have to be careful now. He will have dirty tyres. There's SRI now up alongside Jimmy, trying to make the move. This is on the back straight. You can make overtakes here, but it does take two to tango. And for SRI, his tango partner has got hard tyres on, so able to capitalise on the extra bit. But yeah, so the leading cars on the soft compound tyre, really, to make this kind of work, need to open up a pit stop gap on Conrad, which, as I mentioned earlier, is about 10 seconds. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But you, Ray, mentioned the softs could do 7 laps. The question will be is, at what point do the hard tyres potentially do the same lap times as the soft tyres?
Yeah, I don't have that information of where the crossover is.
Well, I think this is what people have struggled with in practice, though. I don't think the hard tyres have actually got to the speed. But if we look here, Steve F1, we know him as the Brands Hatch ball bag. So he's doing 126s. He's done mid and low. So it'd be interesting to see what Conrad's lap times are. But Demon R is actually trying to make a move on Steve F1. round the outside of Hawthorns isn't easy to do and doesn't really go for it. Switch back maybe?
It's not really going to happen here because when you get to this bit, even though the track's about 8 meters wide, it's just that way your racing lines are going to be. You're way off the racing line. I think it's going to feel sketchy as hell, and you know that way where you think something's wrong and your brain can't cope with it.
Yeah, yeah, I have that a lot, usually when I wake up. So Artpal's actually dipped into the 125s, which is pretty good. Steve F1, interestingly, taking a much tighter line down the main straight, even though following him a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I would like to see what Conrod's lap times are. So Arpal's just done a 26.3. Steve F1, I don't know if he was attacking or maybe is he just sort of defending? Is he covering off perhaps?
What I have seen at the last corner where Steve F1 kept it tight and
Kept that tight.
Artpal was going wide. There's a lot of marbles there, so maybe Steve F1 like, I miss the marbles, but then they're rolling over the marbles there. So
well, yeah. I tell you what, Demon R's got a fairly decent run here as SGP. He's also done, well, he's actually got the fastest lap of the race at this moment in time. I'm wondering if he is just cruising. Here's what we wanted to see. So Conrod's first couple of laps, 28 and 27, then he's been into the 26s. So it's still a little bit slower than the soft tyres, but if the soft tyre runners keep going, those lap times could potentially switch. But I tell you what, 26ers on the hard tyres at the start of the race is bloody rapid. So
it's about a second a lap he's losing, so they need to go 10 laps on softs to get that pit stop.
Well, this is interesting. So Jason here, he's in the 27s. So the leading pack are gaining like a second and a half over Jason, which is more like what we'd see. So that just sort of hints at Conrod has got rapid pace. The question, though, will be how long will they stay on those hard compounds as SRI is into the pits at the end of lap 6?
Well, he's got to think out the box because he's had that spin. Oh, Demon R, he's having a look. I don't know what corner we're coming into.
This is Surtees.
A 21.
So yeah, through Surtees, and he may actually get ahead here. Perhaps depends on where Artpal places his car. And to be fair for Artpal, what he needs is these two to battle. They're side by side through Hawthorns, and Steve F1 holds on. Now we look for a switch back. Nothing doing there, and that kind of exactly sort of highlights what you were saying, Ray, about if you're not on the racing line, it's sketchy. And for Demon R, he was not able to get anywhere near the racing line into that right-hander.
Yeah, Steve F1's covering that off, and plus there's always that scare of if you're round outside, as Jimmy's went wide in the pack cam, of
woo! Woo! Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Artpal needed some whip there nearly.
Well, not just that. Jimmy needed some Pampers, I think. Okay, so Artpal's pitted. Carry on. What was you saying?
Like where Demon R tucked back in, if Steve F1 bounces off the curb, it could hit them both out. So it is quite a difficult place to overtake as Demon R is now attacking. Is he going for a switchback? Is Steve F1 going to defend? As he come over that curb, they're using as much as that curb as they can possibly get away with without getting a penalty. Demon R's keeping it tighter a wee bit, squirrely on the rear end there, but is he going to have the drive out down into the corner? Steve F1 defending.
Yeah. So I'd like to say on this occasion, Demon R not even trying to go around the outside, but perhaps try and maximise the exit. It did look like a very different line through Surtees though, didn't it? Demon R with that much tighter line. Now you might see that in Formula 1 with drivers wanting to get more downforce on the front end. I think around here though in Surtees it's all about being able to get on that power to try and get a decent run down that back straight. Now SGP I thought was perhaps looking after his tyres a little bit earlier on, as by the way Demon R's last lap was a 27, so if and in the pits the front three go. Oh, clunk, clunk, clunk. Oh dear.
I think they've all, what was Connors was a 26 last lap.
Yeah, well,
What was
what's this one?
Demonard's?
Okay, this one's for Connor was a 27-1, so I think he may have had a bit of a moment somewhere. But I think that shows that the soft tyre runners have pitted at just about the right time there, because Conrad, his lap times would have been faster if they'd have stayed on the softs. And now we're very busy here as Art Pal, who pitted a lap earlier, is just ahead of Steve F1, Demon R, and SGP, and I've got a lot of in my ears.
That's okay. Just check your time on the recording.
Oh, I've looked. Don't you worry. Okay, so Art Pal, well, it's beeping in my ears again. I don't know what it is. Okay, so SGP here. Sorry, he is on the soft compound tyre. Be interesting to see what compounds the others are on. But also, Jason hasn't pitted, and he's running the hard compound tyre as SGP up the inside and makes the move. Through the corner after Hawthorns. I think it's Dingle Dell or something like that. My apologies. I should know better. I bet Ray knows.
No, I haven't got that. Marcus was too busy.
Oh, well, that's true. But yeah, that is true. We had stuff to talk about today. Okay, Art Pal is on the racing hards. So will be up to temperature a little bit more. Steve F1 is on the racing hards. We know SGP. Oh, Steve F1 going a bit deep. We know SGP is on the racing softs, and we're going to see the difference now of brand new softs versus brand new hards. SGP is going to go all the way round the outside. That's the grip. Nice move. The problem for SGP though is everyone around him is taking a bit of pain. And he's going to have that a little bit later on. Jason, though, now has very hot tyres as Jimmy's in the pits, and Jason's are still the hards, so he's got himself into a rhythm. So the Demon R and Steve F1 could be a bit dangerous as SGP runs wide.
Yeah, just got a wee bit deep there into Surtees. So Artpal second place, Conrad first place, still to pit, still in the hard tyres after 10 laps. Demon R looking for a move. No, he just backs out. I think he's scaring the crap out of the Brands Hatch ball bag.
Yeah. Well, let's not forget, I mean, these guys on the hard compound tyres, yeah, it takes it. Oh, he's having a look up the inside into Sheen. Side by side they go. You don't see that very often. Jason, there's nowhere to go. Yeah, can't make any moves, but now Demon R is slow. Jason now makes the move, and this is the benefit of him having the warmer tyre, as SGP looking at making the move. And oh, Pearl, holy cow! He nearly ended up...
For a pit stop.
Oh, Steve F1 is going for a pit stop. Interesting.
I wonder if there was a little bit of contact and Demon R just backed off there. I don't know what corner it was when he was side by side with Steve F1, and that's what made it all cramped up because Jason had nowhere to go as well.
I'm hearing there wasn't any contact, so it was just that they were slow on the hard compound tyre. But Steve F1 has only done, what, this would have been 3 laps. So he's done a very short hard tyre stint. And I would guess he's going to be on the soft tyres again now. But something I was going to mention, Ray, Conrad flying on his hard compound tyres, the guys that have just pitted and put hards on, they're not going to really be catching up to Conrad now, not unless they can start doing mid-26s on the hard compound tyre. So maybe for Steve F1 and SGP being on the softs again could benefit them over the gap to Conrad.
Yeah, is it too early for Steve F1? He's going to have to make another stop.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I mean, there's 18 laps to go. I mean, you mentioned they could make 10 if you look after them. So maybe he's looking at perhaps doing a 9 and 9. He will have to really look after them. But yeah, will he be able to close that gap down on Conrad? I'm not so sure. SGP hasn't got past Artpal yet. He's trying now, though. He had that massive moment in the final corner a lap ago. Don't forget as well, Artpal on the hard compound tyre, still fighting it. He's going to have to be careful, though, through these next couple of corners, because on these hard tyres, a little bit too much steering angle, a little bit too much throttle, and you'll be spinning around asking Connor for his hot pants.
Yeah, it's at 500.
Oh, hot pants!
Right.
Oh, no.
And he's lost it.
Oh, dear. A bit of a commentator's curse there, or maybe Artpal just wants Connor's hot pants.
Don't know. Not much.
Oh, they might sell for a £5 on OnlyFans. Hey, maybe that's what we should create, a new platform called Only Spins, that only shows spins. You want someone to go and make that now, become a billionaire. Okay, so Demon R has not managed to get past Jason, and looking at Demon R's last lap, it was a 27.2. And since he pitted, yeah, not been great. Conrad's last couple of laps have been 27s, and he's actually closing in on Formula Gary. SGP, his last, oh no, it's Jason's last was a 27. Demon R's back in the pits. Okay, oh, is that, that's Artpal.
Artpal and
Steve F1, yeah, so, yeah, that's Artpal after having his spin. Yeah, Steve F1 has managed to get back past on the soft compound tyre. Demon R with, I mean, not a short stint as Steve F1, but I would guess he's back on the softs and will have shorter stints to do on the softs, which could benefit Demon R. Although right now, there's a bit of a gap between Steve F1 and Demon R, and they were nose to tail when Steve F1 pitted. Conrad, yeah, his last lap, a couple of laps, 27s. So maybe the lap times in the hards have actually started to drop off a little bit. But also, I mean, Conrad's in a situation now with Gary is on the pack cam, where, I mean, what should Gary do in this situation, Ray?
He has the right. There is blue flags, but he does have the right to unwrap himself. But Gary there just letting Conrad through. He's just like, there's no point in fighting you.
Absolutely. Okay, so on the pack cam, Jimmy and Twilight close together. Twilight's soft tyres, though, are very, very worn as Jason heads into the pits. That was SRI heading into the pits. It's all getting very busy on the pit lane. Okay, so Jason...
SRI was on the outside of Steve F1. Steve F1 went for a switchback. And SRI had to be careful, try to get into the pits there.
Aye, okay, so Conrad still hasn't pitted. We've got Jimmy and Twilight. So Jimmy's on soft tyres. They're fresher than Twilight's. Let's see, if these guys... I mean, if they were to pit now... I mean, no one's getting... Oh, Jimmy's gone deep! I'm going to say, no one's getting to the end on soft tyres from here. It's not possible. Could you get to the end on hards? Yes, but you're going to be very, very slow.
It looks like there's about 9 to 10 seconds between Conrad and SGP. If the third triangle, the track mark on the top right, is actually SGP. That's the one I'm going by, because he passed Gary, so Gary would be in between them. So there's 9 to 10 seconds, so when does Conrad cover it? Does he go in and cover it?
Does he? I think
somebody's in the pits. He's in the pits.
He is, yeah, Conrad in the pit. SGP then is going to take, well, is he going to take the lead of the race? It could be close on pit exit. There is Conrad, showing as still on the racing hard. Oh, what? I don't think he will have been wanting to be on the racing hards, because not unless he's going to go hards all the way to like the final lap and then pit. He's come out just ahead of Steve F1, so Steve F1 having done 2 pit stops, Conrad's come out ahead of him, but Conrad's got another pit stop to do.
Yeah, and I don't think he would have wanted to be on the hards, but...
Oof. Oh, he's going deep on those hard tyres. A little wobble as well, a little wide. I think Steve F1 will get past him. Yeah, Steve F1 on the soft compound tyres. I can't understand. The only thing I can think here, there may have been a miscommunication in the pit lane.
It must have been that Geordie accent.
Aye. They
yeah.
thought he was horny, but no. He wanted a soft on. Okay, so SGP's last few laps, he'd been doing 27s and he'd done a 26, but he's going to have another pit stop to do soon. Actually, SGP still needs to run the hard compound tyre, as Formula Gary nicely lets SGP through there. Now, interestingly as well, Demon R on the pack cam is not far behind Conrad and not far behind Steve F1. Okay, that must... Go on.
Conrad took on fuel as well in that pit stop.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, okay.
I spotted the guys filling up a wee bit. I just had to check everybody else's average fuel. And Conrad got quite a bit more than everybody else.
Maybe he did put a little dash in. I mean, it's not really needed here, but Conrad is now on the soft compound tyre. That would suggest to me that that was 100% an issue in the pit lane. And that could actually have cost Conrad a great chance of the win, because coming out where he did, just ahead of Steve F1, if it had been on the soft compound tyre, they both would have had one more pit stop to do. And I do think Steve F1 is kind of net leader depending on the gap between SGP and Steve F1, because SGP's got another pit stop to do. He's got to use the hard compound tyre. But as Steve F1 can use the softs again, he's going to be quite a bit quicker. Jason is now on the soft compound tyre. He's popped into the 25s, as SRI's actually done fastest lap of the race recently. Actually, it was his last lap.
Oh, I thought he was on the grass a bit there. Yeah, he's got his helmet down. Going for it.
Put your helmet away. What I will say though is, if SRI's just done a 25.0, if Conrad starts catching him, I dread to think what lap times. Demon R's just done a 24.7. SRI did a 25.3. Conrad's was a 28.1, but it's pit exit, so it'll be interesting to see what his lap times can do now. Art Powell's on the soft compound tyres, he's in the 26s. Then we've got Jimmy on softs, but he's going to have to stop again soon, but he can get another lap or two out of those. Demon R, though, I mentioned about having a shorter stint on his tyres, and it's working for him. Here, because he's already caught up to Steve F1, which then begs the question, Ray, when do either of these pit? Because if you go for an undercut or you go for the earlier stop, it might help you to begin with, as Gary dips a wheel. Yeah, it might help you to begin with, but it might hurt you later on in the stint.
Yeah, you've got to pick your moment right. I said the tyres could do 10 laps. But you wouldn't want to take it to 10 laps, so I reckon we'll see them coming in about lap 20, 21. But SGP's coming in for his hards.
Yeah, he is. He had almost nothing left on the soft compound tyre. Jason into the pits. I don't think he'll get softs to the end from there, unless it's a 10-lap run. Conrad here then, what's this lap time going to have been? Is it a new fastest lap? No, yes, it is. A 24.6.
Yep. 24.6, yeah. And the side by side coming up to the hairpin.
Yeah,
it's a nice inside line. Or road, sorry.
Yep. Oh, Connor got the run on the exit. He's got the inside line now for Graham Hill Benders. This is so exciting. Both cameras. Oh, wibble wobble for both of them there. It's brilliant to see. Yeah, we've got two cameras showing identical things.
SRI tried to corner Conrad as close to the inside line as he could possibly to try and make Conrad slow an exit, but it didn't really work. They both had a big slide as see how the Conrad's kind of fell back a wee bit, but I'm sure he'll be straight back on it as we've got Demon R and Steve F1. Yeah.
Well, okay, there's currently I think 10 laps to go. Will it be 9 laps next time around? Let's see, is anyone going to pit? No one's pitting. SGP has come out ahead of Gary and ahead of SRI and Conrad. SRI and Conrad with another pit stop to do though. But this is ever so close. I'd like to see Steve F1's tyres to see what condition they're in after having done a lap extra. Conrad's got decent tyres, but they're not going to get... Here's a thought. Ooh, that's ever so close to Formula Gary on the exit. I'm just wondering whether Conrad may have been a little better, you know, running that second hard tyre a little longer and then doing one more pit stop on the softs. I don't know. He could have perhaps done like a 4 or 5 lap stint and then hammered his... I don't know. It's tough to tell. Demon R now, though, attacking Steve F1 up towards Hawthorns, but we've seen this already hasn't worked. Although Demon R with a slightly fresher tyre might fancy it a little bit more, but nothing doing there. Oh, Conrad and SRI on the pack cam. Conrad trying it round the outside on much fresher tyres. He makes it work. And Steve F1's tyres are nearly gone. I think Steve might be in the pits this lap.
And if Demon R waits till the lap after, oh, as it cuts the grass, he might have that fresh air and maybe put in a bit of a lap time as we'll get Artpal and Jason battling.
Oh, Artpal! Yeah, Artpal off as Steve F1 is into the pits. And yeah, well, you mentioned Demon R not following him, carrying on as SGP into the pits. Would that be to get rid of his hard tyre? It must be. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Alright, back in the pits as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, SRI did need another stop to do. Jason at the moment, he has pitted again. He's now on the hard compound tyre. So Jason's gone hard, soft, hard. SGP's gone soft, soft, hard, soft. SRI, I do not know what SRI has gone.
Soft, hard, soft.
How do you get so many babies with soft softs?
I don't know.
Okay, so SGP now on the soft compound tyre. Jason's going to be a little bit of a sitting duck here. May even be a bit of a sitting duck to Artpal and SRI as well. So yeah, SGP making the move, heading up to Hawthorns. Around the outside, he's going to... Oh, Jason, a little wobble! Oh, Jason, a little nudgy! And off the track, SGP goes. Oh dear, oh dear. Jason letting him back through. Go on.
Yeah, that's going to put Artpal right on the back of Jason. And Artpal's on the soft tyres.
Woo! SGP's on the grass, SRI's on the grass. Demon R.
Down in that corner.
There might be. Artpal all over the back of Jason now, but I don't think Artpal's tyres are not going to get to the end. Demon R has pitted. He's coming out of the pit exit, and he's got a car a little bit ahead of him, and that is Steve F1. As Artpal, yeah, isn't going to get to the end. He's going to go to the pits. That'll be for another set of soft compound tyres. And something that is interesting here, Ray, I mean, I'm talking tyres a lot, but with the pit lane loss time being so short, it's worth doing a pit stop extra and having the benefit of fresh, soft tyres, especially with hard tyres.
Look at the gap Steve F1 got to Demon R. They were kind of nose to tail when Steve F1 pitted, but Steve F1 just came out and just blitzed, but then as he overhit his tyres, is he going to be suffering in the end?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? He's just done a stint where he pitted a lap earlier, and Demon R was right on him. And to be fair, Demon R is closing in on him rather rapidly. So it should be interesting to see how that plays out. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out with Conrad as well. And I am hearing as well that we saw on the pack cam, you mentioned it, Ray, Artpal was off the track near Jason. Do believe there has been a report placed about a situation between those two there, so it'll be interesting to see the outcome of that as Conrad into the pits. Now he's going to have a very fresh set of tyres, but where is he going to be on the track?
He needs to come out in front of Jason here. I think he has. He's come out in front of Jason. He's coming down the hill up to the hairpin thing.
Yeah, the hairpin thing. Jason's got a little bit
wait,
wide.
is that Gary?
No,
That's Gary.
yeah, that's Gary right ahead of these two. SGP got ahead. Oh, Gary's. Oh, I think that was Gary trying to slow down and blue flag these guys. Demon R on the pack cam. Look, he has closed that gap. I can understand what Gary was trying to do there. He maybe needed to get a little bit further down the road before slowing down, or move over to the right a bit earlier. But anyway, so Steve F1, here he is on his soft tyres. Let's see, his last time lap was a 26. Demon R, he's only just come out of the pit lane, hasn't he? So this is his first flying lap, and there is a tiny amount of tyre life difference between them. So this could come down to the final couple of laps as Conrad. I think he's going to be kicking himself a little bit as to what happened in the pits, because, I mean, look at where he is now. He's probably, what, about 8 seconds? Without that issue in the pits, I think he would have been in the lead of this race.
Yeah, it'd be... I can't remember how far but he would have come out in front of Steve F1.
Well,
think
wait,
it? Or...
yeah, he did. He came out in front of Steve F1 before he had to go back in the pits, so yeah. He would have been, and yeah, it should have been, I'm guessing, Conrad on the softs while Steve F1 and Demon R were on the hards, so yeah, it would have benefited him massively. Okay, Jimmy, will he get those tyres to the end? I'm not sure. It might be a little bit touch and go. Twilight, he's on fresh, soft compound tyres. He's got a bit of a gap back to Formula Gary, with Gary being lapped by a couple of drivers. And I think for Gary, it's massively unfortunate that he was caught up in lap 1. I mean, we saw it with Artpal, didn't we, at Suzuka, with Critical nudging him around on the first corner. Without having the boost on, it really does make the race a lot harder for the innocent victim.
Yeah, it definitely does. Because they're going to try and go faster than what they've been going at, or they're comfortable with, or destroy the tyres a wee bit. Like an old human are getting very close there. So all the innocent do get punished a wee bit here when without the boost.
I mean, I suppose one of the things with that is, I mean, if your offender waits for you, you should still at least have somebody to race with your offender. But personally, I prefer Gibson. That's my second made-up joke I made. Okay, now interestingly, Steve F1, you can't see it on the time screen here, but I'm pretty sure his lap 22 was a 1:24.5-ish. So he had a very cautious sort of out lap and next timed lap. Then he pumped in a decent lap time, and then he got a low 25. And I think that's because Demon R is right there. So I think Steve F1 had a cautious out lap just to look after the tyre and hopefully help him towards the end of this race. But as we're about to get to the point of having 4 laps remaining, I had to count on my fingers. Let's see, Steve F1's got 50% of his tyres, so I wonder how much Demon R has got.
He'll be close, but he'll have the beneficial.
It flicked on it for a split second there.
Yeah. But he had more than Steve F1, but
yeah.
Conrad's got more than both of them. What can Conrad do? A 24.6 was his last lap?
Yeah. So Demon R, yeah, he's got a little bit more time. Demon R's last 3 laps, 24.6, 24.9, 25.3. And to be fair, I think the reason for the 25.3 is because we can't go further up the road because Steve F1 is there. So it's now going to be a case of, right, where can you mount an attack? We've already seen it though, up towards Hawthorne's here race. Steve F1 is not willing to let anything up the inside of him here. But I think he's struggling to reach a couple of these apexes, which may give Demon R an opportunity on corner exits.
There's a car in front. This could cause...
Yeah,
problems.
I believe it might be Twilight,
Twilight,
because they're already ahead of Gary, and on the pack cam that's following Connor, who is it is Twilight. Hopefully he will have seen these guys in the mirrors. And thinking about it, we saw Demon R get very close to Steve F1 through turn 1 on the last lap, didn't we? I wonder if we're going to see anything like that again, because turn 1 can be an overtaking place or a setup spot for Druid. They're not really gaining on this occasion. Conrad with another 24. I mean, he was fast. He was fast at the last track, but had the spin, didn't he? He's now had the spin this time, but he's rapid. SGP's in the 27s on the soft, so I don't know whether he's just realised he can't catch and doesn't want to lose out. Jason on the hard compound tyre, making it work for him in 5th, but SRI on softs closing in. Art Power has a penalty. He's on the soft compound start time. He did get to the 24s though, I think, did Art Power there. Jimmy on softs, and then we've got Twilight on softs, who has just had to let the leaders through. And then we've got Formula Gary. I mean, Gary's lap times haven't been bad, to be fair. Steve F1 is still holding off Demon R. And thinking about it, right, these two have battled out at Brands Hatch quite a few times, but they've never really had where they've both had a clean race and been able to fight each other for the win. Normally something has happened, so it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen on the last 2 laps of this race. Can Steve F1, the Brands Hatch ball bag, and that is meant an endearment, can he hold on to take another victory? Demon R's got a good run here. He's actually looking up the inside. No, he's not. I did a bit of a crofty there. Oh.
Yeah. And also, on your point of Mike Conrad's winning last race, this race it was a error issue.
Yeah.
The lost time was only 10 seconds. Where if you have a spin, you're off the track. You'll wait more than 10 seconds trying to get back on track without spinning it again and then get back up to speed. So that little error of the pit lane, the lost time's been as little as it could be for that situation. As we see Demon R all over the back, and Steve F1 and the pack camera, we get SRI all over the back of Jason.
Yeah, not only that, we've got Conrad in screenshot. Now, the tricky thing for these two at the front as well is they're doing a great pace, but as the tyres degrade, it's going to be harder for them to defend and attack as SRI and Jason are battling side by side through Hawthorns. Beautifully done. SRI should have the grip as Steve F1 comes around the final corner for the penultimate time. As Demon R's got a decent little bit of a run here. He's going to try and make something work down at turn 1. He's going for it. Up the inside, side by side they go. And they both understeer a little bit as Steve F1 holds on. And then covers the inside.
Some fantastic racing there. SRI got Jason, and don't know what corner, but he got Jason while we were watching this battle going on for the lead. And
Steve F1's tyres have almost gone, and Conrad is still closing. Steve F1 has managed to get that slightly tighter line, but Demon R is ever so close. This may be. Yet Steve F1 is not allowing anything up that inside, but I don't think Demon R is going to have the grip to go around the outside. Would he try to switch back?
He's looking, he's trying, but then he's got to watch it if he makes a wrong attack. He's got Conrad there right behind him, ready to pounce as Demon R's looking again.
Absolutely.
He can't get it done and dusted. Let's see, 2 corners to go.
I think, yeah, it's a bit of cracking battle. As Conrad dips a wheel, Conrad would have been begging for one more lap. But Steve F1 at the moment is going to hold on. Yes, he is. He's going to take victory here at Brands Hatch. Demon R is going to be 2nd place. Conrad with an almighty effort to take 3rd. And we've got SGP a little bit further back in 4th place. And having seen where Conrad was at the end, yeah, okay, that error, it wasn't his fault, but it has cost him a victory here. SGP though crosses the line in fourth. SRI having passed Jason fairly recently, he's going to cross the line to take fifth place, and Jason has actually. Yeah, I was about to say Jason has been passed by Artpal. Didn't see it, but yeah, it might have been on the pack cam. Artpal sixth, Jason seventh place. One of the few to go for a double hard stint intentionally. We've got Jimmy now in seventh place as Twilight and Formula Gary have already crossed the line to finish in ninth and 10th. And finally, Demon R has passed Steve F1 on the back cam. But yeah, Jimmy can run a follow.
He needed the computer to do it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, what a race! So Jimmy got no tyres left, and it's gonna be 8th place for him. But yeah, I mean, what a race! What a race that was. So much going on in that race. There wasn't really a quiet period, was there?
It was something I wasn't expecting. I was expecting more. Sounds bad, and I don't believe that it makes it feel like I don't believe in the drivers. But I was expecting more offs, and I was expecting it to be more spread out. But we didn't get that.
No. The thing is, I mean, we talked a bit about it last week. Brands Hatch, I mean, it's one of those, you dip a wheel, you go off, it could be a disaster. So seeing the drivers cope with that a lot better, it is brilliant to see. Obviously, unfortunately for Gary and Twilight, they did end up being lapped, but that could come down to the lack of practice. So, for example, if they were on the hard compound tyre for more than 5 laps, they will have lost at least 10 seconds of lap time over those that did very, very short stints on the hards. And unfortunately, that's where, having done the practice, you have that knowledge. And I think that's why it was a bit of a surprise to see Conrad start on the hard compound tyre, but then also to go to lap 14 on the hard compound tyre. So he
I got a wee bit of theory on that. And it was while we were racing, it was kind of, and there was a comment made as well. But so we start. What is it? Start late. Was it late morning or early morning? Late morning.
Late morning, I think.
So would you say that's what? Maybe 9:30.
10 o'clock.
10.
Oh yeah,
10
maybe.
o'clock. So it's cold. It's still the day's still heating up, and kind of this place. It's not hot like Suzuka or somewhere else where we go. Even though you can get wet weather Suzuka. So I think Conrad's found a way of right. So it's going to be cold to start with, but if I can keep with them, I'll be okay. And then as the sun comes out and heats up the track, his hard's lighting up where the softs start overheating.
Quite possibly.
So he's gone through that phase of getting the hards to heat up in the coldness, so they're up mostly, what's the word that starts with an O, but I can't say it due to my accent. Optimal temperature when the sun's coming out and heating up the track, and then he's gone to the softs when the clouds come back in, because we didn't see it viewing on commentary, but when I was racing, I seen the clouds come in and it went dark for a bit.
That is true. That's true. I mean, let's not forget as well. I mean, did mention, I think it was last week, that Connor's driving style perhaps does suit these cars a little bit more, and these tyres. So perhaps able to get the temperature into those hard tyres a little bit quicker. Because I mean his hard tyre pace was really, really good. I mean, another factor of it might have been because Arpal had a blinding start and took the lead of the race, but Arpal would admit himself he's not the fastest of drivers. But when he's leading at the start and you've got SRI sort of harassing him a bit, and then you've got Steve F1, SGP, and Demon R, it's possible that the drivers behind Art Pal were looking after their tyres a little bit to try and go that lap or so longer. So maybe the pace at the front wasn't as fast as it could have. Like, let's say if Steve F1 had been at the front, or if Conrad had been at the front on the softs, Conrad would probably have been doing mid 24s, low 25s. Whereas I think for the first stint, I think the guys on the softs were doing sort of high 25s to low 26s, weren't they? So maybe that also helped Connor keep that gap close. And to be fair, he got everything spot on there, apart from his pit crew putting on the wrong bloody tyres. What I should mention though is well done to Steve F1 for taking the victory, as his winner's picture is on the screen. I will beat him at some point around this track in a straight up fight. But what I will actually mention, Ray, is you talking about the weather there. I mean, it's an interesting point because on the soft tyres at the end, although there was a lap benefit for Demon R, around Brands Hatch you couldn't really push any of the tyres because if you did, you overheat them and run wide, which meant being a little cautious into the corners, which does make it difficult to sort of attack a driver into a corner. And when we look at the battle between Demon R and Steve F1 there wasn't a lot of attempts of overtakes. But I think there's a couple of factors to that. One is both of them are trying to make sure they stay on the road. So when Steve F1 had a bit of a wobble, Demon R, like in the middle of a corner, Demon R was also being cautious into a corner, so wasn't able to capitalise at that point. But also knowing that they can't over push the tyres. But what we did get was a fantastic nose to tail battle for the final sort of 7 laps of the race there. Anything else you want to mention about the race before we crack on with the confirmed race result and the championship standings?
I think we've went over everything while we're doing commentary, so I don't think there's anything to add on.
Well, we shall crack on then, and I'm sure we'll find something to talk about afterwards. Now, I say crack on. Ray, why don't you take us through the confirmed race result?
I would, but I don't fucking have it.
Yeah, I did just realise that just before I said it. Okay. We will get to the confirmed race result.
So, well, Demon R's looking for the image, but fantastic race from everybody. I wasn't really spread out, and there was battles going everywhere. Like me and Demon R never had a chance to get any jokes in unless Demon R tried to make them up as they went along.
Yep.
Which weren't that really great, to be honest, so you never missed much anyway. Now to the confirmed race results.
Yeah, so take us through it then, Ray.
So Steve F1 finished first place, maximum points, 20 points. Demon R second place, 17 points. With a great battle towards mostly through the race actually, it was with Steve F1. Conrad, after his mix up in the pit lane, third place, fantastic, 15 points. He was on fire. He'll be gutted that he didn't win it with that mix up. SGP, I thought he was one of the favourites to win. Fourth place, 13 points. Fifth place, SRI. We've seen that he had his big spin that nearly took out Demon R and Steve F1.
Yeah.
And possibly SGP. So he got 12 points. Artpal leading the race at the start, done well in the first stunt. Went on to the hard tyres, maybe they just didn't work for him. Sixth place, we didn't see his overtake on Jason, but I'm sure Jason had a moment on the last lap as well. So sixth place to Artpal with 11 points. Jason, he was there, he was battling with SJP, Artpal and SRI at different times. 7th place, 10 points. Jimmy, we've seen him with Twilight and SRI as well at 1 point. So respectable 8th place on 9 points. Twilight 9th with 8 points. Didn't really see much of Twilight in the race, unless we did, and I've just not noted it down. But he had a bit of a good race by the looks of it. 10th place for Gary, had a couple of spins, and like Gary doesn't really get much time to practice that we know of, unless he does secret practice. So not know what tyres to go on when and whatnot. But fantastic 10th place for Gary. A few drivers away. Nelly, he's away to see the camels with his son. Rich Blues messaged that he wasn't making it. Hopefully everything was okay with him. Bob and he. We'll hear from them when the season ends.
Season's finished, yeah.
When does the race start?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, did mention that a report was placed during the race. Now, I haven't got all the information to hand at the moment, but can say that the stewards have deemed it to be a racing incident with no further action. More details of that. Go on.
Newsflash just came in.
Oh, go on then.
So stewards verdict, racing incident, no penalty. Artpal and Jason arrived at the corner fairly alongside each other and both tried to give each other space. There was a slight bit of contact at the apex, which resulted in Artpal running wide. This was just unlucky, and neither driver was at fault.
Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah, so no penalties to be taken there. Something I was going to quickly mention there, for those that don't get to practice, if you're not sure what to do regarding strategy or how long the tyres will last or anything like that, excuse me, don't hesitate to ask. Now, who you ask will depend on what answer you get. But what you'll probably find is if you ask like publicly just before the start of the race, like, how many laps will the hard tyres last? You're probably not going to get the answer like here of, oh, we only want to be on them for somewhere between 2 and 4 laps, because that's someone giving away their strategy. However, if you message them privately, they may be able to tell you, oh, the hard tyres aren't very good here, it's a short pit lane, you're probably not going to want to be on them for very long, or the soft tyres are only good for X amount of laps. So if you haven't got that information, feel free to ask, but then what you do with the tyres is entirely up to yourself. Okay, let's have a look then at the confirmed championship standings. And, well, an interesting little tidbit of information for you, Ray, is that the last 2 races, the top 4 have been in the same positions. But there we go. Okay, so Steve F1 now leading the championship by 2 points. He's jumped from tied second to leading it, with Demon R dropping to second with a 2-point gap between them. SGP's in 3rd place. The gap between himself and Steve F1 has opened up by 7 points. However, he's going to have to be careful of Conrad in 4th place on 41 points. Because, as kind of mentioned last week, if Conrad gets everything going together, he could be unbeatable in this car, in this championship. Jason and SRI in 5th place, tied there for on 35 points, 18 off the lead, with Art Pow in 7th place on 28 points. Twilight in 8th place on 22 points, and with Nelly not being able to race today, he's dropped down a little bit as Jimmy has closed up on him. They're now tied 9th place on 18 points each. Critical unable to race today has allowed Formula Gary to tie with him in 11th place. They're both on 17 points. And then we've got Rich Blues in 13th place on 11. And then we've got a couple of drivers still yet to score. So last week's race, things were very, very tight across the grid. And to be fair, it is still quite tight across the grid. But next up, we are racing at where, Ray? To be fair, when I said it, I had forgotten, but I have now remembered.
We are racing at Red Bull Ring GP.
Yes. Where? Go on.
Where it can push down.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
See, if it doesn't, I'll be annoyed.
Yeah. Now let's not forget as well for any of the drivers, the lobby will be adjusted just before qualifying. So whatever the practice session was up to qualifying, it will not be the same, or at least it has the chance of being different in the race. But yeah, I've no idea how the tyres are going to last around there. It can be a little bit punishing, but at the same time, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it actually feels quite grippy compared to the Brands Hatch circuit. If it does rain, though, that's going to really spice things up a little bit. But now I've said that, it probably won't rain at all.
Okay. One last thing before we go. So we're 3 rounds in. How do you feel the season's been going?
I kind of want to, what's the word? Reserve judgment. But at the same time, I will answer the question.
Well. Has the racing gone as expected, or were you expecting something else?
No, I'd say the racing has been good. Whenever we've seen battles on the track, it's been good. My only concern is the field spread, and for those guys a little bit further towards the back of the field, who, like today we had Gary and Twilight getting lapped, and I really do feel for guys in that situation. Because for Gary, I think after the first lap, I could imagine him feeling he didn't have much of a race. He was just driving round. So it's kind of like catch 22. There's been really good racing and some really exciting action, but at the same time, I can understand there may be a few drivers that have been driving around thinking, I haven't seen anyone for 20 minutes. So yeah, that does concern me as to how the drivers in those kind of situations are feeling. What about yourself?
Up with different patches in the pack from front to back, there has been good racing, good battles. But yeah, I'm on the catch of yourself of somebody driving around 20 minutes and not seeing them do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we'll see how it goes for, in the next few races and whatnot. I know there was somebody asked a question about is the no using a no boost. Is it something that's going to be I can't remember the.
Yeah, I know he
I
used
can't
he used a
remember.
weird word. The
Yeah.
consensus of is it the consensus that it'll be no boost forever going forward? The answer to that is no, it's not. We've no idea what we're doing going forward. I mean, slightly turning that a little bit. If GT7 doesn't start bringing out some new race cars and potentially some tracks when other games come out, if they turn out to be better, there's a good chance we could end up moving. And if that was to happen, what's the chances of there being boost on there? Maybe limited. Now, that's not me saying that we've had a conversation and that is going to happen. I'm just saying that, I mean, we've talked like through messages today about the latest update that GT are bringing. 5 cars! Not a single race car.
Nobody wants.
Yeah. One of them's a Jeep that nobody wants. One, now don't get me wrong, I actually kind of like the idea of the Corsa VGT or whatever it is, but the rest, nobody wants them. It's
We've got an MX-5. We've got
exactly. We've got a race car MX-5, and the MX-5 they're bringing out isn't even a race car. Now, don't get me wrong, it might be great fun to drive, but I mean, I commented today that I was surprised to see that GT7 is at least, well, it's over 3 years old now, because we didn't get it straight away. I think we waited about 6 months, so it might even be near 4 years, right?
It was a year. It was a year out before we started racing on it.
Yeah.
League-wise, because it wasn't ready.
Yeah. And it is ready now. But where's the race cars? If they don't, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's quite a few race cars on the game, and we can use them. But every update where they bring cars, it's crap road cars that. I mean, I know we said nobody wants, but it is pretty much nobody wants. We want race cars. We want tracks. And if they can't provide these things, people, including us, are going to end up looking elsewhere. Now, if other games come out and like the physics are terrible, then it's not going to happen. Like, there is going to be no move. But if other games come out and provide things that GT7 doesn't, it will quickly come to a point where a fair few of us are going to be going, well, you know what, I want to race on the tracks that this game's got. I want to race in the cars that this game's got. GT7 hasn't got those games. And my concern, I know Steve F1 has been frustrated with GT7 for a while, and to be fair, I was always sort of on GT's side. But recently, I've gone the other way, because especially knowing, right, it's nearly 4 years. If they haven't brought stuff in that 4 years, are they really going to bring it in the next 3 or 4 years? I'm not thinking that they will, because it doesn't seem like they're listening to any of their fans at all. Because on all of the comments and all of the posts, it's where's the tracks, where's the race cars? Where's the tracks, where's the race cars? We don't want this. You're giving us stuff we don't want. Yeah, it might be free, but we don't want it. So in answer to the question, is no boost the consensus, which means, is that what we're going to be doing going forward? Nope. Nothing's been decided, but GT7 needs to book its ideas up. So, but yeah. So, keep an eye out for Project Motor Racing, I think it's called. Because to be fair, I know with that one, well, let's put it this way, it's been a while since I've seen a racing game where I've thought, I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on that. But I am. So, yeah. I mean, it could be diabolical. I mean, to be fair, its wet weather conditions graphically did not look good. I mean, how it had a static puddle on an uphill slope at Eau Rouge, I don't know. Because that shouldn't happen.
Well, GT7 have puddles static?
Not up the hill.
When you see them running down the hill?
No, but at least it doesn't have the static puddle up the hill. On a hill. I mean, I would say the image I saw of Project Motor Racing's wet conditions is terrible compared to GT7's wet conditions. GT7's wet conditions, I think, are very, very good. But yeah. Anyway, right, we've waffled on and ranted a bit there, or at least I have. Anything else you want to get off your chest, Ray?
Nope.
Okay. Oh, breaking news. A woman who injected her 8-year-old daughter with Botox for beauty pageants has lost custody of her child. The child didn't look surprised at all.
If a farmer A sells apples and farmer B sells bananas, what does farmer C sell?
Seashells.
No.
Oh. Go on,
Medicine.
carrots. Medicine.
Farmer C.
Oh my. Oh my.
And that, no.
Yeah, goodbye. You know what to do, folks. Like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and we'll see you all again soon.
Ta-da!